Hi and welcome to this Q3 update 2024.
Version 2 actually, since things have changed, wanted to give you an up-to-date update on exactly what we're seeing on the ground right now.
And we find ourselves in this position quite often, don't we, having to do several updates within the quarter. Do you remember when Liz Truss and her little succession
that was great
queue?
What we're looking for, if anyone in government happens to watch this, is just some plain sailing. Don't change. Yeah. Actually, saying that, we're quite happy for them to change the interest rates.
As long as it's the right way.
Yeah, so let's start there. We expected when we first wrote this update and at the beginning of the quarter for at least one interest rate change over the next few weeks, and it came at the beginning of August. Before that, the market was a little bit quiet. We expected once there was a new government in place, just a bit of certainty that the market would come back quite strong, and we didn't really see that. It was quite difficult to get viewings. It was certainly difficult to get offers. And then once there was an interest rate change, so it went from 5.25% to 5%, which is still way too high in my very biased opinion. We all of a sudden saw a lot of viewings and a lot of offers at good prices. And it was the market sort of 1 million to 1.5 within those price ranges that we were getting really good interest and really good prices. And that's sort of the price point that's been sticky for a year, 18 months.
I think that's the price point, I don't know if you agree, that tends to be the most price sensitive in terms of what else is going on in the financial landscape. So not just the price of the house, but in terms of what they're getting on their savings and what they're having to pay for their mortgage. That section seems to be quite price sensitive. And I don't know if it's less than 1 million tends to be a cash purchase, maybe money that they've got in savings, investments, pensions, and over sort of 2-3 million, they tend to be more financially robust and maybe less influenced by the financial landscape. But at that particular price point, those buyers seem to be spooked by little changes, or what we perceive as little changes in legislation and interest rates.
Yeah, I'd agree. It seems to be a difficult price point, but when it goes well, it's a really easy transaction, isn't it? Because it's usually people that
are quite motivated.
Yeah, they've done well fairly recently, and they're looking to take the first step often into the lakes property market, and it's a good price point. So that's moving really quickly at the moment. What else is happening? So we're hoping there might be another adjustment coming middle of September.
So we're recording this at the beginning of August, and there's enough time, isn't there, to do another interest rate drop?
Yeah, so it would be the middle of September, the next one.
But then this one was only voted 5-4. Did you notice that?
Yes.
Which is a very close margin, isn't it? So
and it depends on how this 6 weeks goes. But the challenge we've got is the American election isn't until November, so they're likely not to budge on too far on rates there. And then with the stock market challenges in Japan, etc., that might spook them to hold fire for.
It doesn't take much to spook a buyer, even
to spook the bank, does it?
No. Even heavy rain will spook a buyer. They don't want to book viewings in heavy rain. But then if it's sunny, they don't want to book viewings because they've got better things to do.
Yeah.
And in the middle of the summer holidays where we're recording this, it's very, very busy in the lakes. It's difficult to get around the lakes, get parked, fight with caravans and all the rest of it. But then in the winter, it's cold and miserable and rainy, and they don't want to come and view then. So it doesn't take much to put them off. I mean,
it doesn't. No.
The Euros, the Olympics.
Don't mention the Euros.
Okay. But just to give you some context, our stock levels here, which means the number of homes we have on the market and actively available, are about 1.5 to 2 times as many as we normally have. So it's about 60, and we normally have between 30 and 40. But the number of viewings until very recently was the same as we had when we only had 30 on the market. So just to give you some context, what we'd really like to see is twice the number of homes on the market, twice the number of viewings to go with it, and that hasn't happened recently.
Yeah, so you'll see on the bottom of your update, there is a high value homes market barometer. And the original score when we first wrote this was between 7 and 7.5, I think. And the reason for that is we were still getting asked out to a lot of appointments. The noises were positive, so we expected with the Labour getting into the government and the interest rates, we expected a good quarter ahead. We've actually increased that to 8 because that has come to fruition. And if a home is marketed well and priced well in this market, we're getting good, strong interest and good offers.
And we always do tend to, when the home has got something about it, like lakefront, really amazing
high spec,
views, high spec, private sort of, long driveway. Those kind of things have really helped those houses. The houses that have been more challenged, the houses that do have a challenge in some way. So maybe they're very close to the neighbours, or they're in a very busy part of the lakes, or they have a restricted view.
Need a lot of money spending on it. They are struggling at the moment.
Yeah.
But what's interesting is usually July and August are quite a quiet time for us. Our buyers are off gallivanting in some beautiful places around the world and not interested in buying our beautiful homes, unfortunately. But we've sort of seen a different trend this year, which leads us to hoping and leads us to thinking that when the traditional solid time of September into October into November for us comes around, it'll be an extra boost and it'll be a really good time to sell. So if you are thinking about whether now is the right time to sell, or maybe spring next year, we always talk about what we know and what we can control. And what we know is right now, homes at $1 million and over $1 million are selling really well, and that should only get better going into September, October, November. We don't know what's going to happen next year there's more challenges with the stock market, with the
American election,
Middle East, challenges there. You don't really know what exactly is going to happen. So if you're thinking about selling, we can give you certainty now and speak to a value and give you advice. It may be that we come and have a chat with you and think it is worth waiting if it's a type of home we're not seeing many buyers for right now, but we would advise that now is the best time to speak to us.
Definitely. Well, now is usually the best time to speak to us, in fairness, because we can help you make a decision. But make a decision based on your personal circumstances, not what you think the market will or won't do next year. Because as we know, in the last few years, there's been a few big surprises, and let's make sure that we don't get caught out by those. I just asked Abby actually to run some numbers on the number of viewings in 2022, 2023 and 2024 to see where the spikes are. And there's always a spike just before Easter. There's always a spike in June. And then there's a fallow period here in August where we've actually had more viewings than we normally have. And then there's a spike again in September. And as you say, through to just before Christmas.
Yeah.
A lot of viewers and buyers in September have it in their mind they want to move before Christmas or shortly afterwards, maybe for a new school year. And so we tend to get a lot more motivated buyers, whereas we tend to get, let's call them kindly, more potential tire kickers that are between Easter and summer that are just thinking about it. The sun's starting to come out, starting to think about life in the lakes, and they're not necessarily as serious. This year we had a lot fewer viewings, but actually those viewings were quite serious, weren't they, in that time?
Yeah.
So it's been a bit of a different year this year. But if you're right and we do get back into that rhythm, then September, October, we are going to see more viewers and more buyers.
And I'd say that it would actually be a good time to sell, not even in average time. With where the market is now, with an extra 10%, that'll be a good time. Well, probably the best time we'll have seen over the last few years.
Oh, the last 2 years, definitely. 2 years, yeah. Because this time last year, people were having to take very low offers if they really wanted to move on, because buyers were coming along, they weren't very sure. They weren't confident in their ability to spot a bargain, so they were offering way below, weren't they? They were offering like 900. What a bargain!
Bargain.
Yeah.
How do you say it?
Bargain.
You said bargain.
I say it like normal people say it. Bargain.
Not so sure about that.
And so if the home was on the market for $1 million, they might be offering $850 or $900. Now they're tending to offer more like $950, $960. So we're starting to get now where the offers and the asking prices are much closer together, which is good for everybody. So if they've got questions about their home, will they be wasting your time and inviting you out or Tom out?
Depends on the quality of question and the quality of your teas.
That's an important point.
That is the important point. We because of the type of agency we are, more than 50% of our appointments like this are just conversations of where we can help people over the next 12 months, 18 months, sometimes 5 years. So it is better to ask the questions now than when you're ready to go to market and then you may have made a mistake or not know what you're looking for, etc. So
you need all the information that you can gather at your disposal, and we are biased in the state that we're an estate agent that sells beautiful homes, and if you have a beautiful home, we will probably want to sell it, but we will give you our best advice and experience to help you make the right decision. And if you are on the market at the moment and you're not getting any interest, don't worry, because we do think that this is a quiet time at the moment. But sometimes what you need is
price point.
You need a change of market. So you need some more, you need the Olympics to come to an end, the rain to stop, September to come round, and at that time, probably a change of agent come to us, because a change of agent sometimes is the boost you need to look different on Rightmove and attract a different quality and quantity of viewers. So now's the best time to talk to us about all those things and about the best strategy for you and your home and your plans.
Yeah. 015 394 88811 is how you can get a team, and you can ask them any questions, and they'll find a time that suits you to have a conversation, or team@ashdownjones.co.uk, and you'll be able to get through us that way.
And any really tricky questions, they will forward it on to you, won't they?
Yes.
Look forward to speaking to you soon. Thanks for watching.